Hello, Supercars in seconds here. Really a fun machine today. This is what I would class as a true supercar. Going back when I was a kid, I'd have posters of the old Countach on the wall. I'm 50 now. Today I'm sure this is the car. They haven't gone to the smooth, comfortable, amazing dual clutch transmissions of a lot of supercars today. They've kept it with the old single clutch, super aggressive transmission that we'll demonstrate now shortly. But let me show you all the wonderful features of this fabulous car. So here she is, at over 80 inches wide, 82 inches wide, 189 inches long, just a magnificent car. A bigger car than you think. That width is the big key to it. It's also only 44 inches high, so with such a low height, you really get that width accentuated. This back end here is magnificent. All right, so to take a look under this enormous engine cover, we have this huge 6.5 12-cylinder engine, 729 horsepower, 509 pounds of torque. One of my favorite details, because she's all-wheel drive, the engine had to be mounted slightly to the left. Obviously, this cross strut bar is dead center. If you notice, the center line of the engine is slightly to the left. That's to get the transmission line to power those front wheels. Really a fun little detail. Again, to see these horizontal dampers is just amazing. If they got to flip it to 90 degrees, you know you're in a powerful car. Nine in the city, 15 on the highway is what the fuel consumption they say. So not the most efficient car in the world, but a nice big over 20-gallon tank. So a nice big tank where you can enjoy the car and drive but very engaging and really a nice experience. So something that stuck with me when I was a kid looking at the older sort of supercar Lamborghinis was the wheels and the tires being so enormous. That hasn't really changed here. Enormous big 20-inch wheels. Look at the width of these front tires, at 255 width. But back here, this is just insane. I don't know if you can see this size here. 355 25 series tires, 21-inch diameter. So when I go back behind the car and show you this, just unbelievable how huge. Lots of carbon fiber work, of course, very beautiful, and just magnificent the way it goes all the way across this lovely wing. Even the support for the wing is carbon fiber. All right, so let's climb in this beautiful car. I love the carbon fiber roof, really a lovely touch there. Look at this. The headlights, of course, have this crazy Y shape in them as well. Lamborghini embroidery. I like the Alcantara on this one too. All right, let's climb in here. Boy, it's a big car. And the passenger seems to be a long way away. I can't get anywhere near touching that other side. I'm about here, look, I can't. That's how wide she is. Also, the distance from here to the end of the windshield, it is probably another 2.5 feet from here to the front of the dash. So even though it's an enormous windshield, because it's raked so steeply, you don't really get much visibility there. Good side view mirrors, it's actually a useful size, but this side view is just beautiful, and virtually nothing back of here. It's all relying on the rear view mirror there. Okay, let's pull her down and get going. So to start Aventador, you pop this little lever up here, but like a fighter pilot. Engine start, stop. And she comes to life, gosh. Oh, you can really hear that thing. Let me put the window down. That's just over here. I'll put this window down and let's let you have a listen. So we're moving inside the car now. I'll start showing you some dynamic stuff. Here's the great big wing, and that whole rear part of the car now moves up and down. I've got that on for us, so I'll show you that moving around a bit later on. But really cool. I love having a lot of buttons. This is just different. Everything's going to these touch screens. This is just old school, and I kind of love it because of that. They've kept a lot of the old traditional Lamborghini stuff in the car, and I think that's something that's a lot of fun. Transmission, again, it isn't actually a manual transmission that's controlled by an actuator, so you can use the paddle shifters. I've got it in the automatic mode right now, and of course, once you get up around 3,000 or 4,000 revs of 8,500 revs, this big 6.5 V12 opens up, here it comes, and gives you an unbelievable soundtrack. So here we are, I got the engine running at that famous big Y-shaped LED there. And this is the view in the rear view mirror. It's terrifying. Again, because she's 5 to 6 inches wider than most supercars, it gives a totally different stance on the road. I do enjoy the sort of stealth bomber type ideas, meaning all of these crazy angles and cuts. They're absolutely everywhere around the car. Fuel tank, the roof line, everything has these zigzag cuts that really do make it a very special car. So something I've always loved about Aventador is its theatrical side, meaning the way I can change the screen using down here in the center console this line of options here, so I can move it backwards and forwards with these little arrows. If I push this one, it'll go to sport, push it again, Corsa, and then Ego. The fact that it has an Ego mode, that really sums up the Aventador. Really a wonderful option. Basically allows you to select and set up the car the way that you want it. Corsa over here is hysterical. Launching the car in Corsa mode from first gear into second is simply crazy. So in the main display, you'll see it says Strada here. Again, I'm going to push the little button across there and it'll go up to sport. That'll just change it a little bit. Then I'm going to move it again out across to Corsa and it'll go blank and then really change a lot. That's just beautiful. We're in neutral here, so we'll wake up that big 6.5 litre V12, and what a great sound it is. All right, so let's get it across into Corsa mode. Here we go, my display's changed. Oh. Very much a racer. Feels like an old-fashioned racing car. And it really does feel like you're changing gear, but of course you don't actually have to do it. You can hang onto the wheel and try and control this enormous beast. Boy. Lots of sounds, and you can really hear that great big engine behind me. It feels like it's pushing you, and that's a really fun sensation that only mid-engine cars have. I actually find if you just lift a little bit between the gears, it definitely behaves better. It's super smooth as long as you lift just a little bit. If you try and keep your foot down, it's very jerky and it takes longer. If I just hit it here, just lift slightly, it's already in the next gear. So you can be smooth with it. It is a single clutch and it's effectively a manual transmission without the gear lever here. They blank it off the top, being serious, they blank it off the top and put an actuator on the back that you can work with the paddles or automatic, and it will shift the gears for you. So it's really an old school thing, but that makes this car have a really unique personality for sure. All right, so we're in Corsa. I'm going to paddle shift it and see how we do. Good Lord. Into Batman's corner, you can feel just dead flat, but you can feel what a big car it is. You can feel the width. It fills the lane, and that's really a fun experience. All right. Jesus Christ. So coming down to our right-hander, let's try, we'll leave it in third, I think, actually. Boy, all-wheel drive, just dead flat. Man, catching some traffic, but gives me a chance to breathe. We're into fifth gear there. Now, Aventador S, only about 30 horsepower than more than the previous car. But it's more than that. The downshifts here are much, much smoother than the previous Aventador. I like the turn signals and the windshield wipers having their own stalks. On a lot of the newer cars in exotics, they're going onto the steering wheel. I don't like that as much. This is, as I say, takes me back to all sort of Countach and Diablo type days. It really still has that feeling, and that's really a compliment to the car that they've kept that old school feel. It, when everything goes electric, cars like this I think will be missed. Wow, that was fun. Gosh, what an experience. Thanks to Andy from Andy's All Access. Check out his channel on YouTube. Really does some amazing stories and travels around to see all the new cars coming out. It's really that's a fun channel to look at as well. The car is, well, let me point you at the car. It kind of says everything itself. Look at that thing. Absolutely amazing. Really nice to experience something that's so raw. The cars today are so capable. They're so amazing. This had that single clutch transmission. Its enormous width really takes you back to supercars from years ago. It kind of creates, to me, cars like the Lamborghini Espada, the Maserati Bora, cars like that had this with this open, or it was glass in those cars. You can see what I mean there. I'll flash up a Maserati Bora now just to show you. You see, it reminds me of that sort of look from the 70s cars. Really a lot of fun. So please subscribe to the channel if you don't mind. I'm going to be doing stuff like this all the time. I'd love you to be a part of it. Ask me any questions you might have on this car or any we've done before, and I'll catch up with you soon. Thanks very much.